board shorts. Well,
What's that
bro, what?
Is this
Right,
a vape zone? Are we
Oh
live?
yeah, crack on. Yeah,
mate.
crack on.
Anyway, I'm ill. Welcome to another episode of what do you say? Board shorts, beanies, bollocks, and bodybuilding, something like that. Is that what it
Yeah,
is now?
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. It's a mix of all of them. Um,
Cool.
yeah,
Right.
right, right. Sam's not introing it as I told him to. Um, right, welcome to another episode. We've got a guest on. Um, Tim, do you want to introduce
Hi,
yourself?
I'm Tim.
There we go, fantastic. I didn't. I actually really wanted you to
They
say.
probably recognize him now. He's got a beard
When
back.
I thought about you saying that, I'd be like, I really hope he's really fucking blunt. So yeah, Tim's my coach. As of May this year. And we thought because he actually knows a little bit of stuff, we'll get him on, but we also don't want to make it educational because it's really fucking boring. So yeah, we've got a few questions, but that probably not even going to go through them all because a lot of them are really educational, which is important, but then it's also pretty fucking boring, as I said.
Well, let's start off with how have you been? How has everyone's week been? Because my week's been eventful.
Why has it
Um,
been eventful?
well, it's actually the one I want. It's quite a funny one, actually. I'll discuss it with you and Josh. I got my bloods back. That's the eventful part. It's quite interesting. In a nutshell, well, long story short, I went to Atlas just for my general sort of MOT. You know what I'm saying. But I spoke to Holly and I said, listen, I want to just see if there's anything we can do about my skin because my skin's a big issue for me. I'm looking into some further markers. So she put me through the ultimate, Atlas. Yeah, great. So some things came back pretty skewed. Some allergies and stuff like that. Markers, inflammation markers. So um, high sensitivity reactive protein. Yeah, C sensitive reactive protein. Where do you think mine was on the test?
I'm guessing fucking sky high.
Yeah, yeah, 36, mate.
Nice.
Which is
Wow.
nice, which basically leads to the fact that my GI tract is in the gutter, mate. So GI 360 for me. Next point of call, sending poo samples across the world to America.
Have you known to have intolerances or anything? Or
This is the thing, mate. No, like never. But I think that's just the key indicator that shows my skin's an absolute cunt with food. So fantastic. Not a clue though, but it's probably I don't have any dairy in my diet besides whey. But could be anything, kinda. Who knows?
gluten?
That's bro. Do you know what I think it is? I've been having sweet potatoes the past like 3 days. My bowels have been way better. I think it'd be rice, which sounds
Join the fucking club.
what?
Join the fucking club.
Wait, rice not work for you as well?
Well, in prep,
In prep, my face just fucking blows up. It's like perfect
Bon.
now.
as soon as he has like jasmine rice, he can have cream of rice, but he can't have rice.
You can't have rice.
I sent Tim a photo and I was like, I genuinely promise you I've not overeaten. And like 10 minutes later, it was just back down to like really gaunt and fucked. It was brilliant.
Yeah,
So you
that's
have cream of
bizarre.
rice, but not rice.
Yeah, I don't
Oh,
ask me the mechanism there. Fucking no idea. It's just a lot of things. It's just Josh. You just put them down to it's just Josh.
oh mate, tell me about the fat loads. How's he on fat loads, mate? Fucking Mr. Shitty Bomb over here on fat loads.
Oh,
Now
mate.
that is more common than you think. To be
Yeah.
fair,
But
I would say
the
one
fact
in
that
one in.
it was just like, to be fair, I don't really care about having much of it. It was just literal bum piss.
Now I'll caveat out there that I rarely fat load anyone anymore, and I don't like it.
But you,
Uh, I,
so I've
huh?
never done a proper fat load until this year.
Yeah,
I did a fat load for a day last year, which went really well. Um,
great prep.
I can't laugh.
What are you laughing for?
Sam, what are you laughing? You wasn't being sarcastic. You was being genuinely serious.
Oh, went well.
Yeah. Sam, I won a show last year. I didn't
You
win.
got fucking default first, mate. Thank you very much.
Let's get the medal out. How many default wins have you got?
um, Yeah, I don't. I've gone off fat loading.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I really have it. I find very rarely do I do it, especially how most people do it anyway. I find that the cons outweigh the pros.
Because
I
that's
find,
something
Is it
people that.
necessary? Like that's the thing. Is it like we're not trying to get too educational on this, but it's not. It's not really necessary, is it?
Yeah,
I
Like,
find
that was
that
one of the questions I got though. One of the questions I got was like, is there anything? Because like you've prepped a lot of people. Like I think a lot of people now, if they were to look at you, they think he's like a very, very good prep coach.
mm.
Do you get what I mean? So is there anything like you probably learn of which probably just carries into fat loads of things like you just pretty much won't do anymore? Like fat load.
So anecdotally, what how I've so a fat load makes sense in essence, right? But what I found is that if you fat load someone for a prolonged period of time, so minimum 2, 3 days, but upwards of whatever, I find that they run so flat that they require so much food to feed them. So I find that the super compensation effect that you get from glycogen from being that insulin sensitive, although you get a huge super compensation effect of the uptake of carbohydrates, you've ran that flat that I think that you need that much food to fill someone. And
Yeah.
mm,
let's fill for 2 days. You've then got to fill them for another day and a half, or you've got to load them more than you've ever loaded them. GI tract's an absolute mess. Food volume super high. Then you get that bounce back. That fluid comes on quite easily in that second or third day. So I actually find that, especially with more heavily muscled guys, that fat loading almost doesn't work too well. And I find that you can probably saturate someone's triglyceride stores in about 3 meals.
yeah,
So 2, 3 days probably isn't necessary. Now, I am going to fat load Jack next week, Kingsley Clough,
Mhm.
um, but it's not going to be in the absence of carbohydrates.
Yeah, because it was, I think it was like, was it 2, 3 years ago? Fat loading was like the biggest craze in the world. You had to do it.
Mm.
Like, I think it was like 2021. Um, but then everyone was almost saying like you have to like
I,
completely remove things. Now, when people are fat loading, they're still keeping carbohydrates present because otherwise your digestion goes to absolute shit, like mine did.
Yeah, so with the fat load, obviously you want to go up to pretty much maintenance calories. So if you're say 2,500 calories is maintenance, you're looking at like 220, 250 gram of fat alongside some protein in order to get them to that. So that's just going to kill someone's GI tract. Carbohydrates are completely absent, so you just flatten off the shit. And I think that there's a pattern among coaches of seeing that they fat load without the absence without any carbohydrates, and then they're literally throwing fucking a gram, 1,000 gram of carbs, 1,200 gram of carbs. They're still not getting full. They're throwing the sink at them, throwing the sink at them. You're waking up the next day, nothing's happened. You're going to bed at night, nothing's really happened. You're doing a dry off day, you need 3 meals of carbs, and you're having 1,000 gram of carbs in 2 meals because they've been so fucking flat.
Yeah, it's almost like
Why
yeah,
are you smirking, Sam?
do you know what it is? I can't laugh. I want to laugh, but like, if I laugh, I'm just end up choking. But nah, it's so both. I was at the what's it called, coach approach yesterday,
Yeah.
and it was great listening to like all some big coaches and that. And at the end, they had a Q&A with all the like some like six pros or something like that, and there was Josh Malley, Big Nath. There was the one guy,
fat debate.
Martin Winston's one. What's his name? Is it
Oh, Louis Breed.
Lewis?
Loose
Louis
bridge.
Breed.
Yeah, yeah. So they were talking about like their peak week and what they had something stupid on like a load, and it was something like I think me he said calories wise it was like 36,000 calories over 2 days or something like that. And me and Tom Taylor calculated something like 6,000 grams of carbs or something stupid enough. I was like, 6,000 grams of fucking carbs.
Yeah, surely you don't need that much.
Now, some open bodybuilders do obviously need that, especially if you're then going to throw a diazide at them. Like there's you're compensating for that. Some open bodybuilders need. You look at someone like Ian Valère, like he used to carry it was like 700 gram of carb and stuff. Like
Yeah.
even if you look at someone like Cuba's approach with a linear load going in, like you're just ticking over the days and slowly increasing to the point where you're not so flat that you require so much food. And ultimately, the more food you put in, the more stress it's going to have on the GI tract.
Yeah,
So I think there's an element of it works for some people. Some people get on with it really well. A lot of people have digestive issues, and a lot of people run super fucking flat. So, like with Jack next week, he'll load for 3 days. But in terms of the fat load, it'll just be a lot of fruit in his food, some low-level carb, and then a little bump in fats in order to just have a small absence of carbs. So he has that super compensation effect of glycogen of carbs going back in and for glycogen, but not to the point where you're carbohydrate free. So
because from what I've seen from like Instagram, he's not even like he doesn't look tired by any shapes of imagination. Like I think he put up like a few photos today. He's like, oh, I wanted to put these up even though I wasn't liking how I looked, but that's why I wanted to put them anyway. I was like,
right. So I didn't have a go with that, but I told him that basically sometimes you can get external feedback, or someone can say you're not sat on your quads too well, and then you're like, fucking hell, I thought I was, and suddenly you think my quads are tired. And I was like, so I didn't say anything to him. Then he sent his post work, and I was like, Jack, I was going to say to you this morning, but the thing is, this is the best you've actually looked.
Yeah,
it's all in your head that you think your knees are a little bit inflamed, so you've not sat on your quads as well. So there's fatigue. There was nothing whatsoever.
No.
Post workout shots were mental. So psychologically things get in your head, and you suddenly think that you're holding some fluid or something when you're not at all.
I think it's a lot more like common in a prep as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Especially towards the end, you're just fragile as fuck.
Yeah, like I was like going into Yorkshire, I was like on my absolute ass.
Yeah.
I was even remembering, I was like, I didn't like how I looked post pull pump before Midlands. So I was like, I don't want to do a pull pump session because I'm not going to like how I looked.
Yeah.
It's like really, it makes no fucking difference.
No.
So in terms of like fat loads and you kind of like going away from it, is there anything like in terms of prepping? This is probably the last prep related sort of question anyway. Maybe anyway, that you like now swear by doing, right? With the vast majority of people, because it works that well.
I've had 40 people on stage this year, and I'd say 5 have been tough preps. The rest have been fucking easy. Even your Josh, by the last week, was a piece of piss, let's be honest.
Oh no, like no, my prep, it was easy. I think the reason it was hard in like the last week or so was generally just because the wheels just kind of fell off.
Yeah, and also when you do shows, the actual hardest part, once you do that first show, the hardest part of prep is waiting for the next show and being in limbo for 2 weeks.
Sam, what was it I said on like a podcast like 2 weeks ago? I was like, I feel like when you do that first show, your body's on like a countdown.
Yeah.
And it is literally like you don't know when that's going to
end. So is your mind on the countdown, because you just kind of like, oh, I just want to get back, and I've got another week, I've got 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I feed people more than I've ever fed people in my life.
Oh yeah. I wasn't expecting to put 3,000 grams of carbs in before a show.
No, but I mean as in refeeds and fatigue management. Like I will pull cardio probably. No one's doing cardio probably from 4 weeks out with me, realistically. Even down to like fucking Megan. She's a fucking bikini girl. She hasn't had cardio for 2 weeks. Like, and she's still 2 weeks out. So like I pull cardio.
When you said we were pulling cardio, I was like, I've still got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I think Christian did the same thing, and it's so nice though. Yeah. It's when you're in that deep part of prep and you go, right, no more cardio, you go, fuck, that's nice. Yeah, that's all right.
In the moment, I think you can play a little bit where you see everyone else doing it and you think, well, am I ready yet? And I'm not doing cardio.
Like, they're doing an hour of cardio and their legs look like shit because they've just lost it all on the Stairmaster.
It's like, for me, it played an issue because I was like, I like working. So if you were to say to me, do an hour of cardio, like, oh, sound easy. Because I feel like I'm doing something. But then long term, it's almost like you subconsciously relax a bit more.
Yeah. No, I agree.
So like even like stress drop off, I think was massive from just that.
Yeah, there's an energy flux of a diet. So you have high energy flux diet and low energy flux diet. High energy flux meaning high output but higher food. And typically as humans and in a dieting phase, we want that really. We want as high output as we can have really, but as high food. But as you get to the depths of prep, you want to turn that on its ass, and you want a low energy flux diet where you want the deficit to come from food almost and start removing fatigue. So most of the time, once someone's 95% there, that 5% I'll get from fatigue management and then from just pretty much a deficit from food and pulling energy expenditure right down.
Interesting. Do you know what? That's funny. I think that's what I did wrong with, not wrong with Josh, but that's what I didn't realize sooner with Josh. Connolly, we do this all the time. Connolly in this subject is that it was going really well, really, really well. And I got to a point where I was like, oh, he's not dropping anymore. And I messaged Christian saying, right, this is the setup, this is the set. Well, Christian was a babe through his prep. Just give me a little signpost, just help me out through the way. He's like, mate, he's on like X amount of calories. You got way more room to play with there. Start plugging his food. And I was like, shit, okay. Start plugging his food. Guess what? It starts moving in the right direction again.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, I was like, Josh has got quite a bit of muscle. I was like, I can keep some food in him. Ultimately, I put Josh down to 1,800 calories by the end of his prep, like even slightly lower, I think, and he was fine. And I
You
got
got to do what you got to do. It's
exactly,
bodybuilding.
yeah, fact.
Yeah, and I would say as well, like I always say, like at the end of the day, a good prep coach is really good at winging it because you can't predict anything, right? And you've just got to almost run with gut instincts. I never know the 100% outcome, right? If I think, right, I'm going to pull cardio for 5 days and freshen you up, it could work. 99% of the time, it could work, but you've just got to trust that almost that educated guess because you can't predict, you can't know what's going to happen with anything.
That's
Would you
coaching,
say,
isn't it? Really, isn't it?
And that is coaching, and you've just got to develop a knack for being really, really good at it.
Yeah,
would you say that over time it's literally got to the point where like you get like a first thought now, and
Yeah,
that's okay, this is what I'm going to do.
yeah.
And then you don't second guess. Okay.
No, just
Oh,
don't second guess.
sometimes though, I fucking get in my own head though. I'll set this plan in my head. But I guess this comes from experience though. This is still new to me. A lot of this stuff is still new to me. Getting new clients is still new to me, you know. But when you get that thought in your head, I'm thinking, is that the right thing? Should I do that? It's like, fuck it, I'll do it. But there are times in prep with Josh, I was a bit like, maybe I'll go and maybe I'll just sit on it for a minute and then I get my own and I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
So,
no, 100%. It just comes with experience as well. And like also like if it wasn't Josh, you'd have probably been Josh had a lot of pressure on you because of the status of Josh and how good he is.
Tom
But if
Taylor
it
said this to me in
wasn't,
the car yesterday. He said, do you know what? I said, I applaud you for taking on the pressure of Josh and what people thought he was going to do. And I was like, I didn't even think of that. I was just doing what I needed to do, man.
yeah,
So,
and that that's huge, and that's like mental to have first prep client, right?
yes.
And that's fucking crazy to have someone of that stature and that potential as your first prep client. Like that pressure's huge. Whether you realize it or not, subconsciously, it will have been in the back of your mind that not just because of the pressure of his status, but like you don't want to fuck Josh up because he's that good. You
He'll just,
can't bring him in shit.
he'll just get fucking baited up by somebody else.
Yeah, you can't miss with him because someone would have snapped him up. So, or you'd have had all the comments or whatever, and even when you do well, you're going to get them anyway because someone thinks they can always do better. But that's definitely going to play into it as well.
Fact. Josh, I've got a question. Whilst we're on prep, everything else after this isn't prep related, but this is Josh. You can ask Christian this. We get Christian on. What what was the most annoying thing about Josh on his prep? Every coach has got one.
Right. I've got a prediction for
Jenkins.
this. I've got a prediction.
Yeah.
It's the 2 weeks between PC Wales and PC Midlands.
Josh. The most annoying thing about Josh. Right.
He just brings out a list.
Right.
Right, one sec, someone notes. So let me pull this up. So
Hang on,
big
I've got
notes.
them written down. Now, Josh's biggest problem, bar his mental challenges, is impatience. And it's a good thing and a bad thing, but he's just sporadic with decisions and changes and impatient for almost waiting to get to the goal, which is even the case in the off season because you'll want to prep again straight away. And it's almost like wanting it now rather than having to wait, or like we'll do it next. We'll go back to back peak weeks, or we won't do this show, or we'll do this show, or could I do this show? It just got a million thoughts going through his head, and there's almost like an impatience for the decision, and then he makes a sporadic, impulsive decision. But it's a good thing and a bad thing.
Can I interject? There actually isn't a million things going through my head. There's nothing, and occasionally there's something.
And then something happens now.
Because Tim, you know, when I messaged you, I was like, oh, actually, what do you reckon about just doing Midlands? And like, I think I was like, do you have about 5 minutes? You just ended up ringing me, and I was like, what do you reckon about doing Midlands? That was in my head 2 minutes before.
Yeah, so you're just impulsive with these decisions.
And then I was like, what should we do? Juniors or classic? You were like juniors. I was like, okay. I get home from the gym, I'm just in the bath, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do classic. And I messaged you. I was like, "What do you reckon about doing classic?" You didn't reply, so I just changed it myself. I was like, "I'm doing classic, by the way." And you were like, "All right, sound."
But apart from
changed my
that,
mind by Thursday.
Yeah, I can't complain at the prep. Apart from going into the last show and stuff, there's things everyone can do better, things I could have done better as well. But like, it was an easy prep. As much as you're sporadic and impulsive, you just do whatever I ask of you. So you can't. That's you tick
It's
every
something
big
I've learned
box.
upon, because as much as I've like almost like joked about like prepping next year or prepping the year after, whenever I go into another prep, I'm literally going to be like, okay, when's finals?
Yeah,
What show 2 weeks before? Is that within 2 to 3 hours of driving from my house? Okay, cool, I'm doing that.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
it. But I don't
You
travel.
wanted to do Wales, and that fucked you because also
Oh yeah, 100%.
especially as an assisted athlete, every peak you do, you've got a limited amount of peaks.
Yeah,
And you do. So doing Wales comparative to waiting that long for finals killed you, but finals never in mind, and you wanted to do Wales to begin with.
yeah.
So that was the downfall of the prep. Now we learn.
Downfall though, in long term, probably not.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I
not at
did
all.
juniors against one who probably would have won it if he carried on with prep, and the dude who came third at the British finals anyway.
Yeah.
I was in the middle, so I was like, oh, that's pretty all right.
Yeah, your schedule changed a lot through prep, Josh.
That's
Daily,
why
daily,
I didn't even bother telling
hourly at
Like,
times.
I remember you started this podcast through your prep, mate, through your prep, and I remember it being like, yes, I'm doing these shows, and I was like, and then you messaged me saying, oh yeah, I'm making changes to these shows. I'm like, fucking hell, Tim's having a
I didn't know where I was every weekend. I had to just schedule X weekends out, and then I knew I was traveling somewhere.
You should have an auto replying for Josh. Josh goes, like, shall I do this show? Question mark. Yes, sound. Auto reply.
No, my auto reply was fuck off. Die.
Yes, I wasn't lying. When I put like X weeks out, I actually was X weeks out because I didn't even know myself how many weeks out I was.
Try peeking someone when you don't know what show they're doing. It's fucking tough, man.
Fuck's
Thing is, we were really lucky, to be fair. There wasn't like two shows in the same like location.
Vicinity of each other.
Because piece it fuck up, fit it up, two bros. Shit, we just change our mind all the time.
Oh, we're going abroad now. We're going abroad. Fuck. Oh, I'm doing PCA Saturn on Saturday. Oh, that one.
To be fair, I was tempted to do PC Ireland instead of Midlands.
For fuck's sake.
On the same day.
Yeah, that was a
Was that one in the mixer as well? Was it?
Yeah, that was in the mix at one point.
You might as well.
It
All the
actually
fucking
wasn't. It actually
calendars.
wasn't. I was thinking to drop you a message just for a laugh. No, it wasn't.
Just get all the fucking calendars in a row and just go, right. This is Josh's schedule. It's all of these shows. It's possibility of all of these fucking shows. Throw a dart at them and you're fucking.
He
Yeah.
wanted to do fucking BNBF and UKDFBA at one point. He would do anything that would let him in.
Run a PCT, it'll be fine.
The thing is, I thought we should do this though with every Do you know every like coach, whatever we should get on? We should probably like, because I got Josh Conley to slate me on our podcast we did, didn't we? And he went, yeah, I annoyed him a few times in prep, but
Thing is, I annoyed Josh as soon as he came on. I didn't realize, because I was like, oh, how many kilos are you up? But I didn't realize that he was actually a fair few kilos up.
oh yeah, he got a bit fat.
I was like, oh shit. So Josh, I do
He
apologize.
handled it well, didn't
Connolly, mate, if you're listening to this, please don't cry. Yeah. No, he's just funny as well. So he won't mind me sharing this story, right? So was it last? I think it was last week or whatever. Week back on plan, dropped out 3 kilos, 4 kilos. We're getting back down to just a nice point to start his push up, start health phase, whatever we need to start, right? Maddie done something where they celebrated. They went out for a nice off plan. He replaced 2 meals. It was a steak meal, decent. You know, you can't go too wrong with that. So he then got home. So this is 2 days later after the meal. He then told me, he said, "Yeah, so I fucked up again." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he said, "So after the steak meal, I thought in my head that it wasn't enough calories in that meal to replace 2 of my meals. So I ate some chocolate bars and stuff." And
Um,
then he's like, the next day I had a meal plan, and then Maddie ordered a Chinese, so I had a chip, and then I had more chips. I was just, for fuck's sake, I was like, brother, you're a pro. You're
sounds like
just acting like a fucking pro at this point.
it sounds like, you know, when people in like rehab are in like a little circle around each other, committing real bad things at each other. It's brilliant.
And he sent him to rehab. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah. Mate, rehab is literally like the PSA finals. You get off stage and there's like donut stands everywhere.
Yeah, I know, it's
Ridiculous.
stupid, isn't it?
It's like,
Fucking hell,
they'll always make money, but
that's
it's,
another bugbear of mine, honestly.
well, to be fair, that this ties into the first non-prep related question I've got. What fucks you off the most in the industry? That.
Oh, there's so many things.
If you want to bleep, if you want to say something and bleep it, that's fine.
No. What took me off the most?
But I'm gonna say something now, and I'm gonna bleep it so it also bleeps my mouth.
Yeah, I can second that. Um, it ties it nicely.
Fine,
Just
to actually go onto CapCut to edit that.
fucking reels, just educational reels that are just nonsense and just make no sense.
Yeah.
Sam Lank's page.
What else?
No, I think the Reels one is especially when you can tell that the person that's made them doesn't either has got something wrong,
Understand anything they're talking about.
and that's why like even like I think I've sent both of you like reels that I've done, and I'm like, tell me if there's anything which I've either not worded correctly, even if I've got something right, but I haven't worded it right because I don't want to put something out there which isn't 100%.
Yeah.
Especially, I've got like 3 reels regarding PDs, which are like they're not wrong, but they're just not worded as well as they should be. So I'm not going to fucking post them. So there's no
No,
point.
even I'm like that. I don't like to put anything out that could be
Yeah.
nitpicked or picked apart. I don't know, bro. Just yeah, stuff like that. Just fakeness in the industry and stuff annoys me.
I think it is that thing about the reels, though. Do you know the reels where somebody's talking about a very taboo topic, maybe about, I don't know, PEDs or some controversial way of training or how to grow this, how to grow that. But then you look at their physique and what they're producing and you go, what conclusions how have you fucking
Yeah.
made them conclusions when you haven't evidently built a physique yourself? Like you
Yeah.
look like a bag of milk and you're saying this is the X place to lose fat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
For me, it's like, you know, I put this on my close friends story, so both of you would have seen it. I took the piss with it and I said it's a certain group of people which always do it. But it's every year there's always a new phase that goes out. And it's
Yeah.
like, even if it actually makes sense, it's everyone needs to do it and everyone does start doing it. And it's
Absolutely.
it pisses me off because it's like everyone programs their training around it, and a month later, no one's doing it.
yeah.
I tell you what pisses me off as well. Annoyance of mine is marketing clients to get more clients. As in, like, I've got a girl that didn't go below 1,800 calories and didn't do any cardio. No girl should go below 1,000 calories.
What they don't say is she came dead last.
It demonizes everyone else. Or my guy eats this much food. Come join me because you'll be on high food. When it's one person out of 20 that eats food, do you know what I mean? You see it a lot with like females, and it's like a female should not go below 1,400 calories. Says a fuck who? If I've got a 40-kilo girl and a 60-kilo girl, they're probably going to eat different.
Exactly.
I've got, it's just nonsense. So just mismarketing, I think, is quite annoying as well.
Yeah, because
people try to use it again, like
market. The main thing you can market off is results. And
Yeah.
I remember like being at the CBC seminar. I was like, the main thing that Christian said is like, because he was covering that sort of like marketing thing, was on about like just with your results, etc. But it's not always how you get them, because not everyone's going to be exactly the same. Not everyone's going to be peaked the same. Not everyone's going to be prepped the same. Not everyone's going to grow the same. But I think the way in which people try to do it now, it's like, this is how this person works, so this is how you will be 100%, even though I
Yeah.
don't know what your fucking name is.
Yeah.
And
I think it's quite a big thing, to be fair, though. Like, for example, right, I could, technically speaking, use Josh as a stupid marketing tool
Yeah.
because there was, despite using him as marketing, just
be
put him on
real,
my
Sam, you
page.
could literally say, join me, and you will have Josh's legs on stage.
This is the thing. People join me anyway and go, I'm like, where do you find me from? And they go, oh yeah, I've seen Josh's transformation. And I go, right, set expectations here and fucking now. Josh is a different fucking breed. Doesn't
Josh,
mean you can't be like that, but understand.
And what's worse, Josh marketing himself, and
yeah,
this is what I see, is that I had this easy prep, and so everyone's going to have an easy prep like me when he's in a genetic freak.
Yep.
Then that's even worse as well. Josh could come out and be like, look what I look like, look what I've done in 2 years. I'll get you to do that.
Yeah.
Well, no, you're just in the 1%.
Like legit, my man, before he came to me, he built a all right physique off eating lasagna and pizza.
Yeah, well, he's in the
Yeah,
0.001%, to be
exactly.
honest.
So
He's an anomaly.
yeah, it's a joke. So I could do exactly the same thing with him. It's just false marketing. Just put it out there, say it for what it is. People like it, they come to you. That's it, shouldn't it?
I think it's also an element of like, I was actually speaking to Jack Hattersley today about you, Sam, because I said I was going on the
I
podcast.
spoke to Jack Hattersey today as well. I told him to piss off because his lower back's still in.
I know. But we both said that we think you're going to be a really good coach in the future. And Jack was saying how he thinks like you did really well with Josh, but also like just from a personality perspective, he thinks that you can do really well. And I was like, yeah, I actually agree. I think if I was to look at like coaches that maybe where I was a couple of years ago, I think Sam will go really far and do really well. And then it ties into the point where, I think you've got to do it over a long period of time with a plethora of people.
Yeah.
As opposed to getting some freak for your first time. This isn't digging you, but some people will get a really good person for the first time, and it's like, wow, they're an amazing prep coach. And then everyone else is soft thereafter. And it's fucking tough to do
Yes.
it with everyone over and over again. And like that's a pressure I put on myself because I'm like, I can't miss. So
Yeah.
I won't miss. And I think that also spurs on decision making as well. That it's like I just refuse to miss with a fucking client. So I think that's just something. It's just like earning your stripes. And again, it's like as you get an 18-year-old telling everyone how to build muscle or what to do with fucking VAR in a peak week. And it's like, what earn your stripes to say this shit before you like go out
Literally,
making reels on some PEDs when you're
It's like you say, even now, I feel like now I'm only getting to the point where I can talk about things that I not even like how to prep stuff like that's impossible to say, but in terms of like how I would manage a prep for someone else and like
yeah.
speak openly about that because I've done two preps.
Yeah, with two different coaches,
Yeah.
two outcomes, two different methodologies, like everything. So you gained a load of experience there as well.
yeah. I've got a few people lined up next year, which is quite nice. Fingers crossed anyway for prep.
So
One being Josh again, because well, I
he
mean,
doesn't need much improvement. So just keep.
literally, well, he well need to bring him fucking prep him already by the looks of things. Sorry, Josh, I had to keep digging. But nah, he'll be. I generally think he'll be going in 6. But the plan for him next year is to do a pro card PCA show and then pro quals basically, and hopefully a regional two bros again. Just see what happens.
Yeah, he just needs to do a regional two, bros, tick it off, and then just do a string of pro quals, bro. And then at least one of them turning pro. Like you've just got to keep showing up, and you'll win one overall. He's good enough to win an overall in a pro qual. He just needs to do the right one.
It's like even the two bros British finals. It was the dude who beat him at Maidenhead who won the pro.
Yeah, Julian, is that
Julio,
yeah.
yeah. And actually, what's funny, I spoke to Zach yesterday about Josh and said, right, I said, here's the photos. Him next to Julio. Where does he need to improve? and he said literally he beats Julio in a lot of these shots. Julio just arms and delts just better. So obviously what we're doing is arms and delts right now.
Yeah.
Let's put that emphasis on him, and that's all he needs. Everything else is mint. So pulled his legs right back, pretty much to baseline, and just running that for the next however long, and then hopefully grow some bigger arms, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, I've got a bit of pressure on me now to maintain my. What am I technically?
Someone else has said to Jack today, actually, Pal. I said how much I respect you, that you're new in the anabolic scene,
Yeah.
and you're putting someone like Josh on, and you did the basics so incredibly well. You didn't try and do anything crazy. You didn't do crazy compounds, crazy loading, crazy diuretics, nothing. You didn't try and step outside the box of what you know right now.
Yeah.
And you did it. And I think that's also commendable, to just do something so basic and not try and be someone you're not, you know what I mean? And just bring him in fantastically as you did. Like, I think that's also like really commendable.
It's also like I remember I said this to you when Josh was on the podcast. Because it's also potentially using compounds which you haven't even run yourself. And I do think that's something which is probably going to be very hard, because like, let's say Tim, for example, you've maybe used a lot of the compounds yourself, which you've then put me on or someone else on or something like that. So you have that sort of personal exposure to it. So you're like, okay, this is how I felt on X, Y, and Z. That's what they're going to be experiencing as well. Which, Sam, you didn't have that. Like, even with Miles Anavar, you didn't have that. So you're like, I don't even know what he's going to be experiencing firsthand.
It's that tier tree though, isn't it? It's that tier tree where I looked at myself and I knew what I could utilize, the tools I had, and I said, right, I'm going to rule out this, this, and this because it's a variable which could go wrong, but it's a variable which, so for example, like Anadrol, Superdrol, Winstrol, stuff like that, never used them. Ones which could go more wrong, but I know VAR's very, very mild. So let's utilize that. Clenbuterol, Yihimbine, I've used them on other people before. I know how they respond on that. So can't go too wrong with that. Again, mild. And in terms of DHT derivatives and testosterone, I mean, again, that's just basic, anabolic compounds. So it's something that he's run for a long time as well. And I know I respond to them. So it was literally adding in VAR and lipolytics, which was the newer stuff. And that was it. So
And also just getting peeled.
just doing the work, I mean, end of the day, doing the do is what actually gets you peeled. So, no, there was no need to fuck around, to be honest. But yeah, the pressure's on really to repeat this next year, and maybe I'll learn a bit more to add maybe more stuff in, but who fucking knows? We'll see.
Sam, have you got any questions from Instagram? Did you get any in the end?
Oh, they're I'm not gonna lie, they're a bit fucking a bit timid, mate.
Because I've got a few which I've thrown already to Tim, from Jay Freaky, from Joe Gillen, that we probably can't answer, to be honest. For reasons which
I've got two. One which you want to answer. Any sneak peeks for 11/11, the 11th of November?
I presume you know everything, Sam.
I don't know everything. Christian, he says, I want to tell you so bad, but I think obviously I just kind of know what the situation is. Because from Tom Taylor, obviously going solo, I know the situation at hand. So yeah.
Yeah, well, enough said, innit? I mean, I filled Josh in earlier on some stuff.
Yeah, Tim filled me in earlier, as usual.
Can chat on there if you want.
Josh, text me. Josh, message me. I got another one. This is, I guess, the other two. You've already answered one of the other ones just a bit, yeah. But have you done anything mentorish or just let the results talk? Have you done any mentoring before, like business mentoring, anything?
Have I ever had one?
Yeah. Have you done any? Is that
4 years ago? I had a business mentor for a month.
Basically, it was fucking pointless.
It was the worst experience of my life, and I was really struggling for clients.
That was catering, prepping me as well.
That was yeah, that was like 4 years ago. Like, I had it tough for quite a while and just persevered and persevered. But no, I've never had a mentor. I'll be honest, I've never really done much in
The
terms of,
mentoring sell you a dream. I remember I did mentoring for 2 months. It was 600 quid a month, right? This was this last year? No, it would have been year before, right? Oh, 600 quid a month. And what was it? He was like, right, you need to follow 100 people a day. You
yeah.
need to uh reply to 20 people's stories. You need to cold DM 20 people. And I just
Make these
remember,
make these reels.
yeah, and I remember getting sign-ups, and they were the worst quality of clients ever.
I'll
Yeah.
tell you, that was actually my annoyance in the industry, the fucking business mentors as a whole, if I'm honest with you. I can name one that I think is actually good, and that's Mike and Dan from Banter or something. I don't know. Mike and Dan, they're actually quite good, and I know people have been with them, and
I
I've
thought you
seen
said something else then. I thought you said something else in banter then.
Wanker.
No, I thought you said something else and banter then. I was like, they don't host that.
Oh right, no, not the poddy. Um, no, they're good from what I know, but I just think business mentors as a whole, like the approach they take, even when they fucking cold DM us non-stop and no, you get they make a conversation with you, and then it's like, hey, how's coaching going? Fuck off. You're not interested. You just want me to sign up to your mentoring scheme.
You want me to make you fill your back pockets, mate? Piss off.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, business mentors. But no, I've never done mentoring, and I just let results do the talking. It was tough for me for a long time.
I think you get more out of that though. Like I get more out of like when I have signups come through because it's from referrals from clients. I'm like, that means I'm doing a really good job.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
if I've had to like almost like buy a client into getting coached by me, I'm like, well,
They're
that's
not going to stay for long, and they're
no.
never a good quality client.
You can almost
Let it
tell.
grow organically. Seriously.
Honestly, do you know what? I feel this so much more because I used to get a bit butthurt when I used to get rejected. Not rejected, but like when I used people who used to like, I don't know, inquire and not sign up and stuff. And now I've changed my approach of doing inquiries where I do it sort of the Christian format where straight WhatsApp link, voice note,
Works for me.
inquiry response. If they blank it at that, or they ask for the price, I say it's this, and they go and they blank it after that, I just go, you clearly aren't invested in
Yeah.
yourself. So that's fine. Or you've gone elsewhere to somebody better. Fine, by all
Or
means.
someone cheaper.
Yeah, or someone cheaper. Yeah,
But that's
exactly.
your worth. Like you can't. I'm not in it for money, and I help a lot of clients out where I can. But you've got to almost value your time and what it's worth for you, especially as a prep coach. Like a lot of time, you lose money on clients because you're spending that much money on Airbnbs, travel, show day tickets, whatever. You have got to have a level of respecting your self-worth. And
Integrity for your own value, to be
yeah,
honest. But Joe, I actually did something today, which actually I think was quite a nice move for myself. So I had a female inquire legit like earlier on. Got a consult with her tomorrow. She says, I don't know if my goals are realistic. And I said, everything's doable, so just fine. But I haven't had much experience with females. I've had like 2 female clients ever. And my current rate for males is X price. And I said, listen, for you, I actually need to do it cheaper because I don't work too much with females, but I
yeah.
want to do more with females. And therefore, I'll give you a better rate because, I might not provide you a better, as good as a result as the males, I do. So, I said that to her as well because I'm happy to actually reduce the price for her. So,
Be flexible like that. Also, if a teen comes to you and they're fucking 18 years old and they're a really good teen, the mum's probably paying for them, or they haven't got the money to, so they can't pay and afford that much.
Yeah.
So you've got to weigh up everyone's bracket of what they earn and what they can afford as well. And I need to go for a piss, so I'll be back in one sec.
that's
Oh,
fine.
that's cool.
You two
So,
chat.
we do this all the fucking time.
Shall I leave as well? And then Josh, you get bare anxious.
Oh, because I have a fucking panic attack.
See you later.
Me. I actually need a piss, but I'll wait till
Oh,
it's not that. I cut my water a bit earlier. I've learned.
wait, bro's water cutting.
Yeah, no, I still cut water before drives.
Wait, is bro peaking? Is bro competing tomorrow?
Yeah. Slightly spilled.
Oh, mate. So also, whilst I'm here, I'll go because I feel like whilst we've got this, I'll pull my bloods up because this is fucking. I love to about my bloods. I fucking love it.
Mate, my
Uh,
bloods are actually like annoyingly alright.
yeah, I'm actually a hypertension stage 2, mate. Yay! Jokes. I'm not really. I'm fine. Basically, what it is with Holly Atlas, right? So in the morning, my blood pressure's fine. But when I got my test done,
When
it's
you put in
literally
loads of Supergel pre-workout, it just goes to shit. Don't know why.
but basically she sticks this fucking cuff onto me. Like does it once, I'm there stressing like about a needle that's about to go into my arm. So I'm let me chill out for a second and fucking do it three times and let me breathe a little bit. But anyway, everything's pretty okay with my bloods. My HDL was a little bit low, fine, but my C-reactive protein.
Through the roof.
Either I'm pregnant, I'm obese, or
Oh,
I've got IBD. Fantastic. That's great. Poly IBD. But yeah, everything's actually all right, to be honest with you. Some normal inflammatory. I didn't rest before doing the bloods, nothing like that. But good news is, or somewhat good news, is that I'm pretty responsive. My testosterone's at 44, my estradiol's at 447. So I'm an estradiol
What are you
baby.
running?
300 milligrams of testosterone by micro every day.
yeah.
So
I think my test was bunk, which is annoying.
yeah, we are going into a cruise though now, just to pull some of these other markers down and try and sort this. Well, I'm going to do a GI 360 soon and try and resolve that issue. But then basically, Boland's going in. Let's go. So, none the
Alden,
next. What's that?
Aldenone's going in.
No, but Prima Boland.
Oh, I
Prima.
thought you said.
Oh, man.
I was like, really? What?
Boland, no. No fucking way. But yeah, I love looking at my bloods. It really interests me looking at my own fucking bloods. I'm not dying, so that's okay.
I get interested by like how like mine are actually like pretty alright.
Yeah, pretty sound.
It's a bit boring. So I'm like, I kind of wish things were a bit more fucked.
You wish I'd
You love an uphill battle, don't you?
Yeah. I get them back. I'm like, oh, please, just be close to death.
and then Tim would be getting bare messages going, should I do this? Should I do this? You're like, for fuck's sake, you got this fucking impulse shit again.
He'll tell me like he'll be almost devastated. And then I'll be like, oh my God, what would you do? And then I'll send this response, then I'll get like, no, bro, I kind of like it. And I'm like,
The worst thing is like, you know, when like you tried to talk me out of doing PCA finals, which eventually we didn't do anyway, and you were like, you'd be on an hour of cardio a day. I was like, sound.
yeah.
You're like, fuck.
I'm just trying to scare the shit out of him. And he's like, yeah, bring it on.
Hey, thing is, I feel like Josh, everything can be going perfect. You got to find something to question or something to fucking
Yeah.
it's just something's got to be wrong. Like, I don't know.
He's
So
got to make me worth my
perfect.
money. Yeah. He's got to
Yeah.
make me earn a living. Like, I
That's
earn
why,
a
like,
living.
I actually told Tim that I actually started prep 2 weeks before I actually told him I started prep the other, like, earlier. So I started prepping my head at on the drive home from Fit Expo. So I was like, right, something tomorrow is going to go, which which it needed to. But something else is about to go tits up. I'm going to do a prep. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't even tell Tim. And then, but the issue was me and Tim had a call, and Tim was like, "Yeah, I want you to prep in 2026," and I was like, "Okay, well, no, 2025," and I was like, "Okay, I don't want to do that. I'm not." So I'm gonna just wait until everything goes tits up, which I know is going to go tits up, and then say, "I think this is the best idea to do." And Tim was like, "Yeah, sound." So it worked.
No, I think, right, it can work two ways, right? I always say you need to be in a good psychological state to prep. You need all your ducks in line. You need to be in a good place, right? Enter Josh, nut job, right? So Josh,
Revenge
I
arc.
also think there's sometimes an element where, because I said to you on the phone, if we don't make it to the stage, let's just extend this diet and get lean. Because I do think there's an element where having a short-term goal to tick off every single day can keep your mind ticking, and you get through things better because you're ticking off a short-term goal, right? When you're in a gaining phase, nothing fucking changes for 3 months. It can be, you just left with your thoughts. When you've got shit to do and tick off, it can keep you ticking a little bit better. And that's what I said to Josh. I was like, I'm not against it. Let's just carry on the diet. Let's just almost treat it like a prep.
Yeah, and you were like, "Don't pick."
And the
Sugar.
next day, you booked 14 shows in.
Yeah, I remember on the phone, you were like, "Yeah, don't pick shows." I was like, "Yeah, well, I know I'm doing Wales."
I've booked this. I've booked this. I've booked this. I've booked the Airbnbs. I've booked the. I've already prepaid for fuel. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Wanted like 8 weeks as well until PCA Wales or something.
No. When I eventually told you that I was thinking of PC Wales, it was 11 weeks.
11, okay. Still quick.
But
From
I'd
top
already
season.
chosen it at 15 weeks out when I was still with when I was still with Reese.
But
Yeah.
Reece,
No, no,
no.
no one knew. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna do this. And I think even before when I was still being self-coached for a bit, like a few days before I signed up with you, I still pulled my food down.
Yeah, you did, to be fair.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna pull my food down. I had my birthday, then I was like, yeah, I'm gonna run like 3,000 calories. Had my last off plan the next day, and I was like, and you were like, I remember when you said we were dieting, he was like, yeah, if you want to go for like off plans, let me know. I was like, wank, I'm starting prep tomorrow.
Right,
Um,
what other questions we got?
right,
So I was going to ask for a funny one, to be fair. No, I say it's
Cool.
funny, but it's on topic of the bloods, because speaking about bloods, what's the worst bloods you've actually ever seen on somebody?
name and shit.
Oh,
And maybe it's like not what's it called? Like maybe it's like it could be visual or how they were feeling. You like get bloods done, and you come back and it's like fuck. Like
I think I know who you're gonna say.
you have to say the names. I just want to hear what the fuck
I
coming up.
think I know who it is.
some of the worst I've seen was like the hematocrit and like red blood cell count, hemoglobin, iron were all bottomed out and they were like peak blast.
Oh,
I was like, bro, that's like the opposite, bro. Like, what's going on here? I'm sorry, but I think you might have like lymphoma. Like, it's looking like blood cancer, bro. And he had to say like, his goodbyes to his daughter and all this, and like, anyway, it just turned out it was a faulty test. Seriously, like I made him get rechecked twice. Went to the doctors and everything. They was absolutely shitting themselves. I was shitting myself. I thought, like, bro, and I'd inherited him from another coach. He'd only been with me 4 weeks.
oh fucking
I
hell.
thought, bro, like he's killed him. And yeah, it turned out everything was okay, and there were literally that fucked readings from a blood lab, and he was sound. Apart from that, honestly, I haven't had too many bad blood work. I don't know who you're thinking of, Josh. Um, is it someone I've recently took on?
No.
It's Josh.
Yeah.
Unless you want to tell me and blurt it.
But he's got a result to send you in a minute, and it's
Right,
pretty fucked
I'll
up.
blurt it, but Sam, because I'm probably going to put this podcast up like Wednesday. You need to message me because I will forget. Say, take like blur a lot of things out.
Okay.
Jack Hattersley, didn't he have fat bloods?
Oh, his creatine kinase was like 8,800.
Yeah, and didn't you say like
What?
something?
You know, bro?
Didn't you say like he could have had cancer or something?
Yeah, that wasn't looking good. That looked like his. So when we look at like creatine kinase, it depends kind of where it comes from. If it's damage from the muscle, or is it like his heart and organs actually kind of secreting this inflammatory marker? So we had to deep delve into it, and everything was fine. So we were looking for CKMB, and see basically was it his heart that was that was failing, and it was fine. It was because he trains like an absolute nut job.
8,000.
8,000.
Fuck, I'm doing training wrong.
What's the reference range? Like 350 or something.
I mean,
Uh,
mine's like 450 right now.
yeah, it was 8,800.
I don't train hard enough. That's what that's telling me.
Now, when I say he trains hard, I've never known anything like it. He won't take rest days behind my back. What he did, he would, if we're doing a preacher curl, he'll take 12 force reps. And he's done this his whole life through his boxing career up until. And we had retests, we had everything done. And every test they kind of came down. I gave him 10 days off, came down. Um, Internally, other scores came back fine. And then they came down and he was okay.
Wow, he
Yeah.
actually just that crazy.
I'm assuming I actually don't have to bleep that out then. That's fine.
No, that's okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, so Holly rung me and she was like, Tim, like, I was like, oh, fuck, he's only on 200 meg test. Fucking hell, what's going on here?
That pisses me off even more.
Yeah, I mean, he just had his first, he's on the most he's ever been on now. So just 400.
I thought you said on Josh's.
He's a freak. He's a freak of nature. Fucking.
Jax. I trained legs with him tonight, actually.
But I think that actually explains why he's so fucking large. Then, if he trains like an absolute, like, that's a thing, mate. Hey, do you know what you should do? There should actually be a measure of intensity. How much inflammatory markers you got in your blood? Like, if you say I train hard, go and get your bloods done and
Let's see,
beat that shit.
As much as like there's negative returns and there's more does more until more does less. You look at these people and they train like fucking savages at the end of the day. And Jack's done that since he was 14 years old as a boxer. He used to tell me like he was boxing amateur level, and he'd be 14, 15 years old, and he bought himself an oxygen mask, and he used to go in Pure Gym outside of boxing hours, and he would just fucking run around Pure Gym pretending he was altitude training, almost looking like fucking Bane at 14. Like, because he was obsessed with being the best boxer he could be. He would just kill himself for boxing, doing crazy weight cuts and water cuts at 14, 15 to fight in lower categories. And then he translates to bodybuilding, and prep was a breeze. And also you look at Gillen, and Gillen's come from a background like that. And again, prep's a fucking breeze. And I do think that you are conditioned to it from a young age, that it holds huge merit going forwards in terms of what you can handle, how you train, what how low your food can go. They don't give a shit. They just fucking do it.
Because that's like, when I mentioned, like, as soon as you do that first show, you start ticking down.
Yeah.
They're the two like anomalies to that.
Yeah. They'll just hold it for 6 months and they don't care.
Yeah, because I remember like I saw Jack on stage Fitter last year, and that wasn't his first show. And then he did shows until November, didn't he?
November, yeah.
Ridiculous. And then like Joe Gillen's Joe Gillen.
Joe did what? I don't know how many shows Joe does. Joe just Joe's Joe. Joe can just do whatever in a prep. He doesn't care. I'll just tell him to give him water all day, and he's not bothered. And he'll do it for 6 months. Yeah.
30-day water fast. He's like, yep, son. Like, yeah, bless. All right, cool. No shit, bro.
I've got a few ideas. A few that I need to kind of reword. This one I don't. What's more likely, Josh being a manageable athlete or Tim not being fashionable?
What's more likely?
Yeah.
Josh being a fucking manageable athlete, bro. No.
I think I'm manageable.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you define aura and it's me.
Just funny, I was going to go with the Josh one as well. Sorry, Josh. Timmy is good. Yeah, but it's a very, they're both very close, but the most like one is to Josh be unmanageable, unfortunately.
Tim's aura is between like Zara fashion model and then I'm going to a football game at 3 p.m. I'm going to have a few ads, and it actually works. Pisses me off. Like, you'll never see Tim in a pair of Jordans and like cargos or anything like
that. They were 3 years ago, bro. Been there, done that.
Jordan's up. Jordan.
You know how they say with bodybuilding, don't try and reinvent the wheel. Tim's fucking done it.
Yeah, Tim has reinvented the wheel.
Tim's got his own wheel.
Man wears his Preds in daylight. His fucking.
I've got the David Beckham Preds on.
Man's got his little bend it like Beckham's on. Let's go.
You know those like the loafers you had in like high school that was always get like scuff, but had like 99 curve when you play football at lunchtime. You could probably bring them back as well.
I've got plenty of loafers, yeah.
Next year at PC finals, when I definitely don't do it, you'll just be there in like slippers.
Bro, he'll rock it though. That's the thing. Like, fuck it. Like, who's saying shit, bro?
Why this is from Teddy.Hannesett. I do apologize, mate, if I fucked up your name because you asked me a few questions. Why does he always start a banging podcast, get him hooked, and then stop it? So yeah, why'd you stop your podcast, Tim?
Because Megan's ex-boyfriend tried to sue us.
Okay.
What?
Which brings me.
We've got a defamation case against me, Sam. I can't say anything more.
Oh no! Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, Josh, we need to be careful what we say on this podcast, you know, mate. Fucking hell,
went all in on that one, so I can't really say anything more. It'll be back. It'll be back. The only reason
you said it'll be back since May.
Man, she's fucked, bro.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah.
The girl's peeled. She's fucked, so she can barely string a sentence together, let alone have a podcast. And I'm a moody cunt. and I can't carry a podcast on my own.
It works better.
And then what other podcasts have I done? Fucking Staff Room. Well, I don't know. I'm not behind the logistics of that one, so can't blame me.
Um, I think this is Pete's client. Is it your turn to get the trunks on? So basically, you're going to do a prep.
Next year, yeah.
Oh
What's
yeah.
No.
Oh,
No one wants to see this shit on stage.
Well, it's annoying that you're actually tall because I've shrunk, so I'm comfortably into classic short now. I'm not moving until I make my own class of classic midget.
Well, I'm just realistic with what I've got. I've got a ridiculous back, and that's about it. Like, that is it.
I thought your legs are half decent, are they not?
Yeah, my quads are good, but they're long, you know? And like, I need more. My chest is really good, but my arms are literally sticks.
oh,
Your arms are all right.
likewise. Let's go. Let's go.
They're not the sticks. Look, I will one day, 100%. Like, it's upsetting in a way that like I live and breathe bodybuilding from 7 in the morning till fucking 12 at night, every minute of every day. You know, I only coach prep clients now. All I do is bodybuild all day.
Mhm.
So to then not do it yourself, as in getting on stage, because at the end of the day, I know people joke, I'll have an off-plan meal or I'll have a meal deal at a fucking show. That's only because I give everything to my clients. I still live and breathe as a bodybuilder every single day. And it's my everything and it's my job and it's everything. So to then not step on stage much and to haven't in so long, it is upsetting and it is like, you know, I'd love to, but I'm also very realistic where all my fucking natty clients look better than me peak blast. I have to be realistic and I'm really competitive and I don't like doing anything I'm shit at. And
Yeah.
again, another reason why I don't miss with clients is because I'm so competitive with it as well. I live through them. I want them to win. Like, I fucking love it. It means everything to me. So one day I will, but I've just got to be good enough at some point to do it. And I need a string of time to get to that physique.
Is that's something which like it doesn't annoy me, but like since I've competed more, it does annoy me, especially after this year when like I've enjoyed every single show I've done, even Yorkshire. Like when people say, "Oh, the stage is always there, wait for this," but I'm like, but it is fun being on stage.
It is fun. Look, I loved my prep as well. I mean, I prepped myself at 19. That was a fucking headache. That was hell. Um, and look, I'd love to, and I will one day, but it's also to, and by winning, I have understood the older I get, winning isn't just first place, and it really isn't, and I'm never going to. But winning is presenting a physique that I'm proud of, and I wouldn't be proud yet. I'd almost be doing it just to do it, and I want to do it and present something that I'm proud of.
Fact.
Because like as I've said, I say this to clients all the time. Like as much as I'm competitive and I love winning, I have clients that don't place that are more of a fucking bodybuilder than someone that wins an overall.
Mhm.
The way they handle their prep, the way they handle post-show, it doesn't always a plastic PCA trophy or a plastic any trophy does not determine if you're a good bodybuilder or not. It's how you act and live and breathe as a bodybuilder. Because at the end of the day, most of them trophies are going to the genetic freaks. And they don't always have to live like a bodybuilder. And they don't always have to give everything like they do. You know, I've got loads of clients that maybe don't place or come fourth or come fifth or third, and they handle everything. And then post show, they're fucking on it and they live and breathe it. They're the bodybuilders.
It's like is it Lennon?
Lennon, yeah, young Lennon.
He's fantastic. He doesn't do anything less than he doesn't do anything less than he should do.
No, and like I always think like for a teen that young, because he's really young and he's done it for years and lived it, and the post show has been perfect, and all throughout prep it was. And I also think when you've got that many external pressures at such a young age to do this, do that, do this, like take my hat off to people like that. Like I was buzzing when he come fifth and he got in that top five because like, he fucking deserved it.
Yeah. So I put up a few posts about like post show etc. Because I was like, again, like I feel like 'cause I've done it twice, I can maybe give my like 2 pence on it. So I had a few people like message me about that, but he actually messaged me, and I thought it'd be like a normal sort of post show question, like how do you manage this? And he was like, I'm so like I've got so much more time now that I'm not prepping. What the fuck do I do? And I was like, chill out. You can actually chill out, bro. Just do nothing sometimes. But no, like I think he'll be like really good in like when he's in juniors, and like I'm not too sure when he's thinking about next prepping because
He's got
like
lovely shape as well, to be
yeah,
fair.
shape wise he's brilliant. It's just a case of needing a bit more size. which again, I think everyone gets bugged out about because they're like, oh, where do I need to grow more? They probably, I'm assuming like a lot of your clients probably say to you as well, where do you need to grow more? If you've got less places to specify and you're better,
Yeah.
because you can be like, oh, I just don't need to change too much. Like annoyingly, like my legs grow off like a half-assed amount of volume, but that's boring to me. I'd much like my legs to be behind.
But on that topic, with the whole you getting back on stage and that, it's one of the things though, isn't it? The coach approach said it yesterday. And I'm even weighing it myself. I'm going to compete. Of course, I'm going to compete. I haven't got enough clients to even go full time yet. But you can't be a top athlete and a top coach.
So
One's one's going to slip. Um, and to me, I even look at myself now and go, I'm not even really a top fucking athlete. Like, I've managed to grow Josh from me being bigger than him to him being bigger than me and winning more than me. And I actually got more enjoyment out of going to his shows than me going to my own shows,
Yeah, 100%.
which says a lot, to be honest. And
I
to,
gotta say, my genetics are in my brain, and I've
yeah,
always been really, really smart as a kid growing up, like effortlessly. I've never had to try it, and I've always got it. And
yeah,
it's my crippling autism, but it's a superpower with it as well. But like my genetic, you've got to know what your strengths and your weaknesses are. And I do think like you can't have that many athletes on stage and give everyone that much, and then be the best athlete yourself at all times.
Oh no,
correct.
I
One
remember like
person who I can shout out and I say I think he handles it fucking incredibly, and that's AJ Morris.
yeah.
And I think he's fucking perfect with it. And I've never heard a bad word about AJ's service either or anything like. And I think he's a fantastic athlete and coach. Obviously, with Nat is I guess there isn't as many shows and stuff, and you're not at a PCA, then a fucking UGB, then a
Then
PCA.
it's
Like
like how many clients you've got on stage at those shows,
yeah,
then
16
doing them.
weekends in a row. And the thing is, I'm traveling 4 or 5 hours every weekend to then get there. And, it's just by Monday comes around and it's not that I haven't got the time. I'm exhausted. And I think when you care that much, I'm so mentally drained on show day and anxious and fucking ticking and ticking and ticking that you just fucking battered come Monday. And then you have
Yeah.
to compete with someone. I think AJ managed it fantastically. But yeah, I do think that you can't be the best at both. There's a point where you've got to pick one or the other of your priorities.
Fact.
But even like towards the latter, I say the latter end towards as I started getting towards like competing, etc. I was like, right, I don't want to have check-ins on a Sunday because my show is going to be on a Sunday, and I don't want to let my service drop. I also don't want them on a Saturday because if I'm traveling to shows, for example, I didn't know if I was going to be traveling up on the Friday or the Saturday to Hull, and I was like, well, that's going to be 6 hours without stopping, so that's probably going to be like 8 if you water loads and etc. I was like, I'm not letting my service drop. But even then, like throughout the week, if I'm let's say if I'm in a peak week or if I'm not, I was like, I haven't got the same amount of energy that as I do now. And like, yes, I'm still providing the same, technically the same service, but I'm not being me as much as I'm like, I will speak to my clients like I speak to my mates. I'll speak to my clients like I speak to the both of you. I'm not gonna, I don't like it when I can't do that. So like, even from a coaching aspect, I didn't like that. And then when I had Alfie, who was going to be doing first timers, no, not first timers, the open show, which is it this weekend, the whole one? So he was going to be doing that one, but then obviously he was checking in pretty much daily from like 6 or 7 weeks out. But I was genuinely getting more excited to see his check-ins at 6 or 7 weeks out than to check in with Tim myself when I was a few days out. So I was
Yeah.
like, this, I get more of a kick out of this because this is where like I actually have to think now. And I was like, I'm really happy that obviously he's not competing, he's not doing the show, but I'm really happy that if he was doing it, I'd be out of prep by then, even if I did do finals, because I'm like, I can just give 100% to everything to that. Because if, for example, we were thinking about doing Worlds or something, which is the week after, I'd be like, that would be fucking awful.
Yeah.
I wouldn't enjoy it. I still have to travel. I'd still feel absolutely shit, and I'd hate it. But I'd hate it because I'm not being 100% myself. So like beforehand, I used to always look at it and be like, yeah, you can be 100% an athlete. You can still 100% be a coach. Just fucking crack on. But I think if I was ever to get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm really good, I've got all these clients on stage, I would happily sack off competing, no matter how good I was, to just give everything to that because bodybuilding's never going to fucking pay your bills.
Yeah. That's true. So I
Like,
had a weekend, nine
great.
people on stage in 4 time zones. The
Mm.
fuck am I doing then? I was up from 4 a.m. till 2 a.m. in
Oh,
22 hours. So it's like, what am I going to do?
It was like what, 3 days before you travelled to Wales for my first show this year. You were in,
Tampa. Yeah.
yeah. It's like you can't like prep yourself doing that.
No,
It's
and that's why
possible.
like, I had to stop letting Megan come to shows and stuff because that takes a toll in itself. Taking 5 meals and trying to get steps in and some cardio and some training while at a show day and stuff. As much as I love having her, she had to stop coming because you got to put yourself first, and you can't do it.
No, you can't. That's not feasible. It's not definitely not feasible.
And if you do it, you're killing your own physique because of the stress, and you're fucked there as well.
And then you're not putting your best package on stage. You're going back to square one. Your best package on stage, you won't be happy with it. Therefore, it's not even a successful prep.
Exactly.
So that answers the question. Then he's not going to be prepping really until he feels like he possibly
Until
can.
he falls off, basically.
You what, bro?
So your coaching just falls off and you lose all your clients.
Yeah, until I just cancel myself or it falls off or I miss one time and then everyone leaves me and I'm a fraud. I don't know. It would be earlier in the year. I'd do a
I was
really,
going to say that
really
I'd say like, what would you do? Like going it like the shows leading into the universe.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it in a PC show. It would just be a PCA show. I don't know what. I'd probably end up doing classic. It'd just be like a novice class. No, I guess you can't do novice classic. Novice bodybuilding or classic. I'd do it really early in the year. But I'm also at a point where it's like I don't need it for business either. I have
Exactly.
walked, I have prepped, and results speak. So
You've literally got
Prep
enough.
yourself.
you're bro.
You prep yourself.
Yeah.
I think that'd be really cool to see. So
Oh, did I? Would I prep myself? Yeah, I prep myself. Yeah.
yeah. I don't. I think with you now, because like the amount of stuff like I remember even like when I was like asking things, I'd always like if I ask a question, I'm always like I'm not questioning as in like why the fuck are we doing this? I'm like why? Because I want to learn. I'd always get the answer, but it's like I don't think there's anyone who could be like change your mind on something.
No, and I think I'd second guess it. It was like if Megan had a coach, which if she wanted one, she could obviously have one like Megan, but like I think then that would then play into it. Like she'd almost ask me, and I'd be like, "Oh, I maybe won't do that." I just think I'd have second eyes, and I've got plenty of people that I'd ask for second opinions and stuff. But yeah, I'd prep myself 100%.
Quick question on that then. Not obviously we need to wrap this up soon, but
So,
do you think there's any like this is not me saying I'm leaving Christian by the way before Christian? Do you think there's any value in self-coaching?
okay, that's a good question. Because
Or
I
do you
was
think,
I was
like,
going
is
to
it
self-coach
because like
myself before I joined Tim. I really wanted to self-coach myself.
yeah, it's like one of the things where obviously I learn from my coaches and that's all I've wanted to do. But self-coaching is one of the things which I don't know. What do you think? It's hard, isn't it? Because it's like it depends how disciplined you can be with yourself and
I,
actually
I,
follow.
I would. I'm saying I wouldn't be disciplined.
Yeah.
I would take everything.
That's a really, really tough one.
Isn't it?
It's a really, really tough one. You learn a lot about yourself.
Mm.
Does it help? Does it transfer into other clients? I don't know how much it does. It
I
depends
think
if you're someone who I have a real issue with authoritarian figures and always have done, and I'm really stubborn and I don't like being told what to do. And I think that's my own stubbornness that plays into it.
yeah.
Um, I got Joe last year. I was coached by Joe for 6 months, Joe Jeffrey. Loved it. The only reason I stopped really was because I couldn't be the athlete that was worth Joe's time. Like I was just wasting time. I didn't have time to do it, and I wasn't giving everything. At that point, Joe works with a select number of people. I'd much rather someone go work with him than me. Wasn't I enjoyed my time under Joe. Is there merit to self-coaching? Yeah, give it a go and find out. But also, I think you'd probably just end up with a coach after a bit of time again, because when you're coaching a lot of people, it takes, I do find it can take the enjoyment out of your own bodybuilding, having to program your own food, think about your own training, think about your own drugs, think about what decision am I going to make. Sometimes it's really nice to have someone else just do it for
Just
you.
do it for you, yeah.
And you learn off them as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't learn too much off yourself because you just kind of let things slide and run away with it. I won't take my check-in shots this week and I won't compare them to last week. I won't get my blood work done because I can't really give a shit about myself and I just you know what I mean? I think it's I'll carry on this blast for another 2 weeks because I feel flat. I think you can easily just get into a
bad habit with yourself. Yeah.
yourself. And I think that level of accountability. I also look when I was coached by Joe, I used to look forward to hearing his feedback.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That is the fun part. Yeah.
I've never like checked in and been like, oh, I don't give a shit what gets said. Like,
Yeah, it's someone to chat to as well. I think it can be, I think it can be a lonely sport. I think something that's good that obviously 11th 11 that me and Christian have got coming up together, a driving force behind that rather than potentially being solo or something is I think it can be a lonely sport. And I think actually I sit at my desk for 10, 12 hours a day, locked in a little room. And sometimes having a team environment or then having a coach or having a community around you is what makes it fun. I
Fact.
think you can get lost on your own, and I think it can be isolating. When I was younger and was struggling, and you put content out and you don't get clients, and it can be fucking demoralizing, and it can be fucking isolating as well at
Yeah,
times. People don't realize.
because
that does.
it's quite weird how like my head went straight like 360 because I was literally like when I left Reese, the main reason, like not one of the main reasons, but like a reason behind it, I was like, okay, I haven't coached myself technically since before I really got into bodybuilding. I was like, okay, I kind of want to. I say the term lab rat in terms of like very loosely. I wasn't like I just want to throw every single drug in and just see what happens. But I was like, okay, I just want to try this different. I want to try this a bit differently. And I also want to just like give myself that accountability of, okay, you're going to listen to whatever the first thing comes into your head, whatever decision comes in, and crack on with that. But then I think throughout my prep, I then kind of then realized I was like, okay, I know I work really well with just being said, this is what you fucking do, just crack on.
Yeah.
Like whenever you'd send through, like if it was like a check-in, you'd send through like a text message and be like, this. I'd be like, sound, because that's all I'm doing.
Yeah. I think that even there's merit in learning off multiple coaches. And then I think there's also merit in building a relationship with the coach and being with them for ages. Like look at your relationship with Christian, look at our relationship, and that will continue. I think there's pros and cons to doing everything.
Fact. Yeah, yeah.
And I think
You've got to pull stuff out
time
of
and a
everything.
place for everything, isn't there, really, at the end of the day?
What works best for you? Simple as
Yeah,
that.
works what best for you, and don't almost as well don't change a winning formula too.
Oh yeah. Don't
In
try and
in
think
that case, I'm not going to check in tomorrow, Tim, because I haven't won a show.
and don't think the grass is greener is one big thing as
Yeah,
well. I
yeah.
think sometimes you do. I mean, the grass was definitely greener with Christian for me, and that was just funny. I thought about this. So I saw Christian back at an expo in 2022, and I said to the people that I was there with, I said, "Hey guys, that's Christian Physique Collective. He's on with the McLaren," and they were like, "I don't know who the fuck that is," and I was like, "Oh, well, I'm going to speak to him anyway." Spoke to Christian for half an hour, got a picture with him and that. And then 2 years later, I signed up with it. Oh no, well, it would have been a year, basically 2 years later, I signed up with him, which is mad.
But
But
that's a classic. Like I say to people, when you're putting content out and you get results, you don't get them in the next day. It's when they leave their coach, they've got you in mind, or it's when they have another conversation, or one DM with someone leaves an impression on someone, one chat with someone at an expo leaves an impression. And often when people are thinking, I want to leave or I want to do this, they've got you in their head from 6 months ago, and you had Christian for 2 years, and you probably always thought, if I'm going to change, I'm going to go to
well,
Christian.
through the 2 year period, he would always put someone in a story which is funny or like the about his car, and I was just like, "That's sick, bro!" Like fucking. And then when I actually inquired, he was like, "I was waiting for this day to happen." I was like, "That's sick,
Yeah.
sound." Well, I'm already signed up now, so yeah, sign me up. So yeah, it was.
Yeah, the way me and Tim started, which will probably end this on because it's actually quite funny. Me and Tim followed each other about 3 years ago, then unfollowed each other.
Oh yeah, I've heard that. You mentioned that, haven't you?
Well, I
Just
unfollowed you.
Followed me, and I remember I saw it like a couple of weeks later. I was like, "Oh, I used to like a few of my stuff." Checked it. Oh, Tim follows me.
is a cunt.
I was like, "Fuck him, he's a bellend."
I am bad for I am bad for
I
that.
went to like
Sometimes.
we went to a Conte shoot in like a couple of months later, not a couple of months later, like a couple of months earlier, and I was like, "Oh, this actually might be a bit awkward. I wonder if it gets brought up. I might bring it up." Didn't bring it up. I was too scared. And then he was
I
like,
came away from that being so pleasantly surprised at what a top lad you were. I thought,
and
James,
now you've gone 360 again. I think he's such a fucking cunt.
Right, I've got one more question to end it on.
go
Right,
on.
this is completely unrelated. This is completely a good one. Josh, you can answer this one as well, possibly if you
Can I
one
go
v
for one
one.
last? Can I go for one last piss, please?
No, no, it's a short question.
Okay.
No, you're not
No,
allowed.
it's short.
Brace yourself.
Right, 1v1 on any map, but it cannot be on Rust.
Terminal.
Oh, that's what I was going to say.
Oh, that's a good fucking map. That's a good map.
Terminal was goated.
Terminal.
What was the other one that was in Black Ops 3?
What was Nuketown?
No, no, the
You know what? I'm going to put it out there. I think Nuketown's overrated as fuck. I think it's overrated as fuck.
Hey, mic drop.
I do.
Bro, he actually just said Nuketown. Nah, okay. Right. This is a bad idea. We're deleting this podcast. This ain't
No, we're
this
not.
ain't getting
I'll get
heard.
views on it.
Yeah, but you're younger than me. Like,
Too bad I say
you
Black
like
Ops
the
2.
newer CODs. They're shite.
I said Black Ops 2.
Anything after Black Ops 2 was crap.
Yeah, correct.
I think
Apart from then when Warzone came back.
I think
When
Black Ops
Warzone
2 was okay.
Soon as what? Can you slide and jump off walls and fucking
Not as much.
corners with that one there? Nah.
I had all the gold, like I had pretty much all the gold snipers and pistols. I was quite happy with that.
I stopped. I started at COD 4, so Modern Warfare 1, and then Black Ops 2 was my last COD. And then
Shipment's the best map.
Shipman's a great map, yeah.
Because it's fucking AIDS.
Yeah, and then I got it back, Modern Warfare for the dance.
What, 2019?
Yeah, and then I got
Lockdown. Yeah.
Lockdown. I got Cold War, and then I never got one since Cold War because I stopped going on it.
I'll be honest, the lockdown one was actually quite good. Oh, probably because of the time of the lockdown fucking shit. Yeah, cool.
Warzone was just incredible in lockdown.
Yeah, elite.
Dance will never be beaten. I mean, when they brought Caldera out and all the others, they were shy. Like the dance
elite. But we'll finish it there then.
Right, yeah, we'll finish it there because Tim needs a fucking piss.
Nuketown is shit. Comment fucking Nuketown if you made it this far. Sounds.
Right, Sam, we'll leave it there. Tim, thank you for coming on, and I'll speak to you in a few hours when I check in.
When he says he's doing another show tomorrow, yes. Okay.
Tim, what do you think about PC Hall in like a few days? Fine. Get the old actor now.
You just need a peek.
Right, yeah.
Is that ended?
Listening, tag me in your story and tag Tim as well. And we'll chat to you in a bit. Bye.